Okay, this week we read a story about beavers, okay? And we talked about what is the main idea of a story. And when we talk about the main idea of a story, we talk about what the author wants us to understand from the story. So in our story, beavers, okay, building beavers, we said that the main idea was what? It was all the information about beavers. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to put you over here so you can see my board, okay? So I'm going to put the word beavers right here in the middle, okay? Now, you all wrote beautiful telling sentences about the beavers that help support the main idea that we were able to learn all about beavers from that story. That was the main idea, learning all about beavers, okay? So some of the things that we learned was that beavers, they live in the water, right? Live in water, okay? Something else that we learned about them is that they ride on their mom's back, right? They ride on their mom's back, okay? And what else do they do when they're trying to cut down a tree? They stand on their back legs, right? Good. They stand on back legs, okay? What kind of tail do they have? What do we say? What kind of tail do they have? Very good. Let me kneel up here. Okay. They have a flat, They have a flat tail. Okay. And there was one other thing that we said that they could do, that we learned that they could do too, right? There were a couple different things, right? They can see underwater. Right? They can see underwater. And one other thing that I thought was interesting is their teeth. Do you remember in the video that I sent to you too? What color are their teeth? Their teeth. They have orange teeth, right? Orange teeth. Okay. So when I draw a picture like this, what I'm helping someone understand is what is the main idea of the story. The main idea of the story was all about beavers. And these were different things that we learned about the beaver in that story, building beavers. Okay? So that's the main idea. Well, what we're going to do right now is we're going to work on the main idea, but we're going to work on a different story. Okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share a story with you that I absolutely love. And then we're going to do something special about that story, okay? So I'm going to lift you up here so I can see you and you can see me better, okay? So my story is called Stand Tall, Molly Lou Melon, okay? And what I want you to do is I want you to be listening to this story. And then I'm going to ask you a couple questions at the end. And then we're going to talk about what the main idea of this story is, okay? All right. Molly Lou Melon stood taller than her dog and was the shortest girl in the first grade. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, walk as proudly as you can, and the world will look up to you. So there she is. She's just a little bit taller than her dog, and she's the shortest girl in her class. So she did. Oh, my pages are sticking. Sorry, friends. Molly Lou Melon had buck teeth that stuck out so far she could stack pennies on them. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, smile big and the world will smile right alongside you. So she did. Molly Lou Melon had a voice that sounded like a bullfrog being squeezed by a boa constrictor. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, "Sing out clear and strong, and the world will cry tears of joy." So she did. Molly Lou Melon was often fumble-fingered. That means a little clumsy. She didn't mind. Her grandma had told her, "Believe in yourself, and the world will believe in you too." So she did. Then Molly Lou Melon moved to a new town. She had to say goodbye to her grandma and all of her friends. And start in a new school. On the first day of school, Ronald Durkin called her Shrimpo in gym class. When the game started, Molly Lou Melon caught the football, ran under the legs of Ronald Durkin, and scored a touchdown. All the children thought, "Wow, she's good." And Ronald Durkin, well, he felt very foolish. I guess she showed him, didn't she? On the second day of school, Ronald Durkin called her Bucky-Tooth Beaver. Molly Lou Melon took out her pennies, stacked 10 high on her teeth, and smiled as big as day. All the children smiled with glee. Well, Ronald Durkin, he felt very foolish. On the third day of school, Ronald Durkin said, "You sound like a sick duck. Honk, honk." Well, Mary Lou Melon sang out a quack so clear and strong that it made Ronald Durkin somersault backwards, hit his head, and have to go to the nurse. All the children cried with joy to be free of Ronald Durkin for the rest of the afternoon. And well, Ronald Durkin, he felt very foolish. On the fourth day of school, Ronald Durkin said that she had made the snowflake all wrong. But Mary Lou Melon opened up her paper and revealed the most beautiful snowflake of all. All the children oohed and awed, even Ronald. Isn't that beautiful? On the fifth day of school, Ronald Durkin brought Molly Lou Melon a stacking penny for her tooth and smiled at her. That night, Molly Lou Melon took out a pencil and paper and wrote a letter to her grandma. "Dear Grandma, I wanted to tell you that everything you told me was exactly right. Love, Molly Lou Melon." Okay, I love this story for so many different reasons. How did Molly Lou's grandmother make her feel special? So there were a lot of things. We know Molly Lou she talked about being short, right? She talked about having buck teeth. She talked about having a voice that, wasn't sounded like a bullfrog, right? And that she was a little bit clumsy. But what did her grandmother do to make her feel so special? Let's go back and let's look at the first time when she said that she was so short. What did her grandmother tell her? Her grandmother said to her, my papers are sticking here just when I don't want them to. She said, "Walk as proudly as you can and the whole world will look up to you." And what did Molly Lou do? She didn't care if she was short. She walked tall. She was proud of it, right? Then when she said that she had those buck teeth, what did her grandmother say? Smile big and the whole world will smile right with you. Embrace it. It's part of you. And you can do something special with those teeth, right? How many people can stack pennies? Then when she talked about that her voice sounded like a bullfrog, what did her grandmother tell her to do? Sing out clear and strong, and the world will cry tears of joy. Sing out loud. Share your voice with other people. You never know. You might find people that love your voice. And then when she said that she was a little bit clumsy at times, her grandmother said, believe in yourself, and the world will believe in you too. So I think that's what we're looking for in the story right there. That is the main idea. If the author wanted us to understand something from the story, I think it's understanding how did Molly Lou Melon's grandmother make her feel so special. She taught her to believe in herself, right? She kept saying to her, take all those things about you and believe in yourself because they're what make you special. What happened, though, when Molly Lou Melon moved to that new town and that new school? Who did she meet? Yep, Ronald Durkin, right? Yep. Well, what happened each time Ronald decided to make fun of Molly Lou for something that her grandmother had taught her to be proud of? The first time she ran under him with the football, right? And he fell, so she became even better at football than him. Then when he made fun of her teeth, well, she showed off the trick that she could do, right? She showed all those kids what all she could do with all those pennies, right? And they were all like amazed at that, right? Okay. And then when there she is showing them what she can do with all those pennies, right? Then when he made fun of her voice, she did that quack, and everybody, what happened? He fell backwards and hit his head. Do you think the other kids liked Ronald? He wasn't very nice, was he? And in fact, when he went to the nurse, they were all happy because they didn't have to listen to him anymore, right? They were all free of him. Exactly. And then when she said she was kind of clumsy and he said that she made the snowflake all wrong, she ended up making a beautiful snowflake, right? So how did she solve this problem with Ronald Durkin? She believed in herself and showed that all the things that he was making fun of were actually all the things that made her very special. And who taught her? Her grandmother taught her to feel that way. Exactly. Why do you think Ronald started to feel foolish then? Because every time he tried to make fun of her, it didn't work, did it? Because she so believed in herself that she wasn't going to let Ronald make fun of her. Exactly. Very good. So how did Ronald change? At the end of the story, how did he change? I think he got it, right? And I love this picture. What did he bring her? He brought her a stacking penny for her tooth, saying, hey, you're pretty special with that. And then he smiled at her. Do you think Ronald Durkin learned a lesson too? I think so. I think he learned a lesson about it's not nice to make fun of people, but I think the really important main idea of this story is that Molly Lou realized all those things that someone could make fun of her for. If she believed in herself, then the world would believe in her. And her grandmother taught her to feel special that way, right? So I think that that's a really good main idea of that story. All right. What you are going to do right now is you're going to get a little dose of Molly Lou Melon yourself, okay? You have this worksheet, and I love this poem. It says, Sunny Sunflower. Sunflowers, all different sizes, line a garden wall. Some are short and cheery, others strong and tall. Starting as a tiny seed, growing quickly like a weed, Whatever size they are, you see, each is special just like me. Okay, so you have a sunflower right here. You're going to color the outside of your sunflower however you want. A lot of times sunflowers are yellow, but if you just want to make it a flower, you can do that too. It's fine. The poem is about a sunflower though. On the inside. Now, Molly Lou Melon had a couple things that made her very special. She realized that it was special that she was short. She learned that it was special that even though she thought she was clumsy, she wasn't. She thought that she had those buck teeth, right? But that made her special because she was able to stack all those pennies on it, right? Okay, and then they said that she had that voice, but actually when she sang, people really thought it was pretty because she believed in herself. What I want you to do is I want you to think about something that makes you special, something that makes you special. Molly Lou knew what made her special in the story. And I want you to draw a picture of something about you that makes you special. And then on Flipgrid, I want you to share with us your sunflower, but then also tell us in a telling sentence what makes you so special. One thing about you that makes you special and makes you different than anybody else, okay? I'm looking forward, and I'm going to show you mine on Flipgrid tomorrow. All right, I'm looking forward to seeing them. Good job, friends.